do you think of all these Trump picks, including candidates?
Oh well, I put out a tweet about it. I mean, clearly, it's just kind of like a god tier kind of trolling, just to trigger a meltdown. But really, the Dems' opinions on Gates, that's not really what's interesting. What to me is interesting is the good ones are gonna come by my colleagues on the other side, the GOP, on how they can justify voting for that.
So why not select a guy who has been loyal to him and who wants to seek revenge in the same way Donald Trump does? He's the perfect choice. So I don't know why everybody's surprised.
You know, and the interesting thing about it is that it sort of dispenses any pretense of respect for the institution, right? And there's any number of picks that the former and I guess soon-to-be president could have put in place that would have at least respected, number one, the people who work there, and number two, the very enterprise of prosecuting people.
He doesn't care about that.
Well, that's my point, George.
That's been a lot of our points.
But yeah, no, I mean, we're all in agreement here. Let's be clear. But
American people voted for, right? I mean, Trump was not shy about what he wanted to do in this country. And, in Matt Gaetz, he's not only going to get someone who's fiercely loyal, but fiercely competent. Matt Gaetz knows exactly what to do with the Attorney General's office. He will turn that into be most powerful Attorney General in American history. I know Matt well. We served together. Trump was very clear on what he wanted to do with government. And in Matt Gaetz, he is going to get a very competent, very powerful Attorney General.
Ron.
I couldn't help it. I didn't even particularly like Matt Gaetz, but in this case, I know exactly what Trump's doing. And it's just the beginning of what he did. He set D.C. on fire. They have absolutely no idea what to do except to run. What are they going to do next? Feeling of dread spreads across federal workforce as second Trump term looms near. Oh, it's just the tip of the iceberg of announcements. Even CNN, Biden's own internal staff, can't wait to just get a glimpse of Trump. Look at him here. Listen to what CNN has to say.
I were sitting here as Caitlin was on, looking at that imagery, and it's really stunning. Those are Biden staffers. They're in the EOB. Some of them are lower level, some of them perhaps a little bit higher. But they're there to watch a history moment being made that nobody standing there wanted.
Nobody standing there wanted. That is just one of many inaccurate sound bites. Maybe some of them did want it. Maybe they were just afraid to say anything. Or as the CNN correspondent had said prior in the prior clip, and let's take this for face value. He won't respect the institution of the Department of Justice nor those that work there. Great! Who should respect the Department of Justice? Do you respect them? I don't respect them. After all they've done, they politicized the agency. They're going to sit there now and tell you Matt Gaetz won't respect the institution? Well, hallelujah and amen, because I judge Trump's picks based on the reaction of all these folks that, well, they've been lying to you for months now, haven't they? Years they've been lying to you. Well, now the curtain is pulled and we're seeing the reality, and it is absolutely glorious. Just the beginning of what I'm going to bring you here in just 1 minute. All right, look at that beautiful woman. I am blessed to be married to her, and her and I, many years ago, created our own platform. It was in order to bring you the news that could only be brought on Restricted Republic. Exclusive content daily, a catalog so long you're never going to get through it. All the broadcasts we do here re-aired without any commercials or interruptions because we're beholden to nobody on our platform. Absolutely not the way we'd have it. No, it's real news, audience-funded news, references and resources provided on every single video. We want you to question everything. That's why we created the platform. It's why it's grown exponentially for the news that matters. No, there's no fluff in there. There's going to be no doggy stories except about our own dogs. But outside of that, I want you at restrictedrepublic.com today. I want you to subscribe to the channel here. Absolutely. For those that support me here, thank you. But if you want more news, I don't just ask for donations. I don't just ask for support. I give you more, and I put more work in to provide you what you need to make good decisions. That is restrictedrepublic.com. I'm going to go ahead and continue to discount code independence, $4 a month for 2 years plus 14 days for free. Cancel anytime. It's that easy. That's how confident we are and how great that platform is. And the so many of you have joined us over there. Thank you so much. That support means the world to us. And in return, we give you the news that you can't find anywhere else because it's only exclusive at Restricted Republic. But now, let's get back with this broadcast. So everything wasn't victorious yesterday. A lot of victories, major victories. John Thune, not a victory. Maybe I'll remind some of you who don't realize why some of us don't like John Thune so much, and this clip should sum it up for you.
Donald Trump is the Republican nominee. Would you support him?
Well, I'm hoping, Leanne, to have other options, and I think we're going to have a robust primary.
Enough said. I hope we have other options. Now, this is the man leading the Senate, so not everything was victorious, but let's end the non-victory lap there because we have much better things to announce, including Trump announcing his senior staff. Coming out of Mar-a-Lago, he goes ahead and announces his senior staff to be Dan Scavino, what his most staunch, loyalist advisor. Great pick. Don't disagree with it all. Stephen Miller. Oh, this man throws fireballs. I'll play a little clip for you. James Blair, Taylor Buttigieg, which I normally mispronounce every single time. I have no disagreements with any of those picks. But let's go to the Stephen Miller, the one we've all, grown. I hope you have. Because this man isn't going to waste any time. As an advisor to Trump, what an excellent pick because he lets you know exactly who he is. He doesn't guard his words.
About the decades of abuse that has been heaped upon the good people of this nation. Their jobs looted and stolen from them and shipped to Mexico, Asia, and foreign countries. The lives of their loved ones ripped away from them by illegal aliens, criminal gangs, and thugs who don't belong in this country. I'm not just saying that. You've read the stories. It happens every day. You read one of these heartbreaking headlines. Who's going to stand up for our daughters? Who's going to stand up for the girls of America, the women of America, the families of America? Who's going to stand up and say, the cartels are gone, the criminal migrants are gone, the gangs are gone, America is for Americans and Americans only?
Oh, I told you, strong advisor to Donald J. Trump, and thank goodness for that. Now, Marco, I'm sorry about that. Let me get you full screen there. Trump makes it official yesterday. It's my great honor to announce that Senator Marco Rubio of Florida is hereby nominated to the United States Secretary of State. We knew that was coming. We reported that to you. Let me get that sentence out many days ago. I'm still marginal on this one, just like Elise Stefanik. I'm going to tell you what my feelings are, always have, always will. Marco coming out, leading the U.S. Department of State is a tremendous responsibility, and I am honored by the trust President Trump has placed in me. As Secretary of State, I will work every day to carry out his foreign policy agenda under the leadership of President Trump. We will deliver peace through strength and always put the interests of Americans and Americans above all else. Well, Marco, you changed your tune later on in this campaign as you drew closer and closer. An extremely opportunistic man. We'll see how that proves out. But who's on your screen now? I know many of you were waiting for her appointment, as I was, none other than Tulsi Gabbard. And he makes his announcement. I am pleased to announce that former Congresswoman Lieutenant Colonel Tulsi Gabbard will serve as Director of National Intelligence, and the deep state goes crazy because that is literally their worst nightmare. They put Tulsi Gabbard on a terror watch list. Don't forget that. And now she's Director of National Intelligence. Just imagine. Oh, I could only imagine taking that job. I'd warm up to that desk, get my stuff nice and straight, and there'd be a line outside my door of people who I was calling in to fire with prejudice. This is an amazing appointment. A big F-U to the establishment coming from Donald J. Trump. What a bombshell appointment that was. I told you, he set D.C. on fire. Absolute scorched earth campaign, shock and awe campaign in every way, shape, and form. The lady who dropped her own party. Now on Donald Trump's team, Joe Rogan adores her. Not many people don't. Big time appointment, but just the tip of the iceberg, because on top of that, he has both sides of the aisle going crazy with the appointment of Matt Gaetz, Congressman Matt Gaetz, well, until he gave up his seat, is hereby nominated to the Attorney General of the United States. Matt is a deeply gifted and tenacious attorney trained at the William & Mary College of Law who has distinguished himself in Congress through his focus on achieving desperately needed reform at the Department of Justice, and he, too, minced no words. Matt will end weaponized government, protect our borders, dismantle criminal organizations, and restore Americans' badly shattered faith and confidence in the Justice Department. And my faith is gone in the Justice Department. Hopefully now we can start to restore that trust, that faith. On the House Judiciary Committee, which performs oversight of the Department of Justice, Matt played a key role in defeating the Russia hoax and exposing alarming and systematic government corruption and weaponization. He is a champion for the Constitution and the rule of law. And my friends, love him or hate him, if he is given the position, things are going to change. He's young, he's energetic, he's angry, and he's going to root out everything that has stood in his way and all the corruption. As Donald J. Trump says, Matt will root out the systematic corruption at the Department of Justice and return the department to its true mission of fighting crime and upholding our democracy and Constitution. We must have honesty, integrity, and transparency at the Department of Justice. Under Matt's leadership, all Americans will be proud of the Department of Justice once again. And you saw the reaction of Fetterman going off the handle. Not the only one, Adam Schiff. First, the Supreme Court granted the president immunity for weaponizing the Department of Justice. They're talking about Trump. Biden didn't weaponize the Justice Department. Excuse me, Adam. Now Donald Trump wants to appoint Matt Gaetz as AG. Confirming him would mean affirming the worst potential abuses of the Department of Justice. He must be rejected by the Senate. The worst potential abuses of the Department of Justice have already been realized. Schiff. It was under the current leadership. And we need change. It was the ultimate weaponization of the department, and it needs to be cleaned out, so much so that everyone's scattering, aren't they? As I told you many days ago, Special Counsel Jack Smith would never see Donald J. Trump. He'll be long before January. And sure enough, Jack Smith plans to resign, file the report before Trump can fire him. There was no question that was going to happen. But to add insult to injury, the White House press room is dominated by those that have lied to us year on top of year. So Trump is now scheduled to make an announcement that will set them on fire. There will be more conservative outlets allowed into the White House press room. I can't tell you how big of a maneuver that is. So the questions that need to be asked will actually be asked. The White House Correspondents Association has control over seating, but the White House determines press credentials. Therefore, it's possible for an outlet to be credentialed but not have a seat in the briefing room. That is another big FU to the establishment. You see, this was all outlaid. I told you this time and time again. Trump has laid out this plan. Those of you that follow us here know the plan, and the plan is now being executed. I know you know how much I like Homan. The man who doesn't mince words, and we're going to use him in closing here, reminding everyone So far, this is showing to be an administration of rapid action. Everyone who's going to stand in their way is going to be running away. Because after these appointments, after what Trump has done and after what Trump has outlined, action is upon them. And Homan just goes to cap it in. We're going to do what we said, when we said, and how we said. So you make the choice to either stand in their way or don't. It's a pretty easy decision. Or
run.
Criminals and gang members get no grace period. But while we're out prioritizing the public safety threats and national security threats, if you want to self-deport, you should self-deport. Because, again, we know who you are, and we're going to come and find you. Well, the ones we're going to arrest, we're going to put on an airplane and send them home. And the ones that want to go home on their own, they found their way across the world to come to the greatest nation on earth. They can find their way home. Either that, or I'll give them a free airline ticket,